Imagine holding the world's most advanced AI chip in one hand and a barrel of Iranian crude oil in the other.
Okay.
They seem completely unrelated, right? Until you realize that one is about to totally starve the other of the power it needs to survive.
Yeah, that is the core issue here.
So today's deep dive into the August 24th, 2026 Daily Tech Reader brief maps out this massive collision. Our mission today is unspooling how a global energy choke point is slamming headfirst into this explosive, power-hungry AI boom. Okay, let's unpack this. Washington is launching a massive financial offensive against Iranian oil revenue.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is, well, it's the mechanism they're using.
The secondary sanction.
Exactly. The U.S. is imposing these secondary sanctions specifically designed to, punish any nation continuing to support Iran's economy. And the immediate target is China.
Because China is buying up most of that oil.
Right. They currently purchase over 80% of Iran's shipped oil. So if the U.S. successfully chokes off that flow, the ripple effects across the global energy grid will just be instantaneous.
Wow, and Iran isn't just taking this lying down.
No, they definitely aren't. In retaliation, Tehran's newly formed Persian Gulf Strait Authority is threatening to fine or even confiscate non-compliant vessels.
Jeez.
And they are openly threatening to halt all Gulf oil exports entirely if these sanctions are enforced.
Man, it's like a high-stakes game of global Jenga. You pull out one block, and the entire world's energy supply just crashes.
It really is.
European diesel is already up 70%. But let me push back a little here.
Okay.
The U.S. national debt is sitting above $40 trillion. And we have Canada launching these retaliatory tariffs on steel and electronics.
Right. The economic friction is already there.
Exactly. With all that friction built in, couldn't a massive energy shock just break the global economy right now?
Well, that vulnerability is the core tension driving the markets today. Normally, a traditional energy shock would force a global slowdown.
Yeah, everyone just tightens their belts.
Exactly. But corporate America is refusing to slow down right now, entirely because of the artificial intelligence arms race.
So what does this all mean? Are we just trading oil dependency for, AI compute dependency?
In a lot of ways, yes. Take NVIDIA, for example. Analysts project their upcoming quarterly revenue to approach $92 billion.
$92 billion in one quarter.
Right. It's staggering. And that capital is being poured directly into the physical world, building AI data centers that require a continuous draw of electricity at a scale we just simply haven't seen before.
But hold on, if these tech companies know the energy grid is this fragile, why wouldn't they just build their own massive solar or wind farms?
Right.
Why leave trillion-dollar models vulnerable to Middle Eastern oil disputes?
It's a great question, but it comes down to how AI chips actually function. Training these massive language models requires constant, uninterrupted base load power.
Oh, so you can't rely on the weather?
Exactly. Solar and wind are intermittent. The power drops when the sun sets or the wind stops, and you cannot pause an AI training run just because it got cloudy.
Right, that makes sense.
Furthermore, these new processors run so intensely hot that preventing them from melting down requires specialized liquid cooling systems.
Which also take a ton of power.
Exactly. You need massive industrial chillers running 24/7.
Yeah.
So to get that kind of continuous gigawatt power, developers are scrambling to lock in long-term electricity contracts.
Which usually rely on natural gas and nuclear energy.
Right. And it's driving a huge spike in demand for raw energy and specialized labor. We're talking industrial electricians, cooling specialists, that kind of thing.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The U.S. attracted nearly $286 billion in private AI investment in 2025 alone.
It's a massive influx of cash.
It is, but at the exact same time in early 2026, 120,000 tech workers lost their jobs.
Yeah.
If we are building more physical infrastructure than ever, how are we shedding that many jobs?
Well, the AI models being trained in those data centers are fundamentally changing the nature of software engineering itself. We're seeing the software absorb the routine tasks that entry-level and mid-level tech workers used to perform. Generating boilerplate code, synthesizing data sets, executing routine quality assurance tests.
Things that used to take entire teams of people.
Right. The models handle these instantly now. So the industry is scaling up its physical hardware infrastructure while aggressively automating away its human administrative and research roles.
And you can see that rapid automation directly fueling broader societal anxiety. The latest Pew survey shows 40% of U.S. adults now think AI will cause more harm than benefit over the next 20 years.
That's a huge shift in public sentiment.
Yeah, and it's not just workers worried about their jobs. It's parents looking at the rollout of things like ChatGPT for teens.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lawmakers and families are suddenly realizing kids aren't just using a search engine anymore.
Right, they are interacting with autonomous synthesis engines.
Exactly, which has led to this massive push for age-appropriate safeguards against exploitation and dangerous behavior.
Yeah.
It really puts regulators in a difficult spot.
Because they have to manage both the physical and the digital risks at the same time.
Right. They are attempting to mandate independent security audits for these gigawatt-powered AI models. At the exact same time, they're scrambling to draft editorial protections for teenagers scrolling on their phones.
Wow.
It is truly a dual crisis of infrastructure and control.
Which brings it all home, why you, the listener, should care about this. This isn't just an abstract NVIDIA stock issue or a foreign policy debate.
No, not at all.
These macro forces dictate your daily reality. It's why local utility bills are spiking, or why you're navigating a shifting job market that now demands AI fluency.
Or why you're having to manage what your kids access online. The physical resources required to run our digital lives are finite.
Yeah.
And the geopolitical battle to secure those resources is intensifying every single day.
Which leaves us with a terrifying but necessary question to think about. We started by looking at a military standoff over oil shipments in the Middle East. But if advanced AI requires this massive physical infrastructure and continuous energy to run, will future global conflicts be fought not just over shipping lanes and oil, but over the electricity grids and raw computing capacity required to run these models?